you just need to vote for one more Democrat next year. Let's just get one more Democrat. We've heard this, right? We've been hearing this. Let's just get one more, then we'll get the House majority. But how does it help electing one more Democrat, when no matter how many Democrats there are, there's always some Democrats who are going to take the wrong votes. It completely exposes the Democratic Party. And all of this brings us back to the idea that Mamdani, AOC, Sanders, the Democratic Socialists of America leadership, all of them are putting forward, which is that the Democratic Party can be reformed, that we should be fighting for the soul of the Democratic Party, as Mamdani has said. Bernie and AOC are going on this fight oligarchy tour where they're saying that, well, in order to fight Trump, you need to vote blue in the 2026 midterm elections. And they're putting forward this idea that there's the corporate Democratic Party and then there's the People's Democratic Party. And you just need to vote blue for that one more Democrat who can help the People's Democratic Party, have sway over the corporate Democratic Party. What do these People's Democrats do? Let's look at that. Mamdani's election night speech as a People's Democrat was to lower expectations of the working class, who are excited that maybe we will now finally we will win something like freezing rent, free buses, and universal childcare. What did he say in his speech? He said, a great New Yorker once said that while you campaign in poetry, you govern in prose. You know what that means? That's code for let's tone down our expectations. We were activists when we were running the campaign. Now we have to govern. And governing means selling out. When I was first elected in 2013 to the Seattle City Council, many Democratic Party operatives, some of whom have now become well-known politicians, gave me the same advice. Yeah, all that activism, that's great. But now that you're going to City Hall, you need to tone all that down. You need to start governing, get down to the brass tacks. If I had a dime for every time I heard, get down to the brass tacks. And somebody literally told me, you need to learn from the Democratic Party politicians. and of course, I knew that if I had learned anything from the Democrats, I would straight up sell out the working class people who had brought me to City Hall. And so I think we have to be very clear about what all of this means. The speech that Mamdani gave on election night did not have a word about movements or next steps. The press conference he did the next morning where he announced his transition team, there was no substance at all about what policies he's going to be bringing up. The highlight of this transition team, all the news channels announced that they were all women. The thing that they didn't tell you is that these are all women who have worked in the administrations of Bill de Blasio, Eric Adams, and Michael Bloomberg. That is why the more fundamental question that is associated with the question of,